Are most of your shots indoors and of people? Then a bounce flash is key to getting good lighting. Now, what is a bounce flash? Basically, it's an external flash that has the ability to do this, but also in the portrait position has the ability to do that. Now, why would that be important? It's important because if we don't do so, then we end up getting the cave effect if we're using a built-in flash or we're using flash that's going straight at the subject. So let me show you what I mean by that. These shots were taken in a function room where the ceiling was 20 feet high. It was close on 5 meters easily. So the light goes nowhere. It's a very dark room. So what we have here first off is you can see that we have what we call the cave effect. So the light is fine here and it gets darker as we go back, and direct flash also gives you what we call specular highlights. So any shiny surface that is parallel or perpendicular to the light leaving the camera will bounce straight back at you. So one way to do this, to get over this, is to use the bounce flash. So by simply doing this, I end up getting this. Now, there's a problem. It's quite a dark shot, but essentially by pointing the flash up, I'm able to change the quality of the lighting, although the lighting here is quite weak. So what do? We have on board on the flash and in the camera an ability to change the power of the flash. Now, there's an important distinction to be made here. They're both called exposure compensation. So exposure compensation is where the camera is allowed to let more light in or less light in through a combination of shutter, aperture, and ISO, whereas flash exposure compensation is essentially the extra or less power of the flash itself. So this basically was standard. The camera just didn't have enough power under its own guide to get the shot. So I go in and I do a +1. In other words, +1 flash exposure compensation, increase the power by 1 stop, then I get a much better shot. And then I go to +2, and now I have almost daylight, as if there's a skylight up in the roof above. Now, the important thing to remember here is that you need a ceiling, right? So you can't do this outdoors in the middle of a field in the middle of the night because you've nothing to bounce back from. And if all else fails and you're not interested in figuring out angles and so on, because there's a little bit going on there, going straight up really helps. Though our advice is, remember that what's going to happen here is that the light emanates front and back. Subject is in front of you. You don't benefit from the light going back. So tilting a little bit will get that. Just tilting a little bit, pointing. Now we have some light going up, and you might even go that way. Light going up. The important thing is that your subject should never see the front of this. So if most of your shots are indoors and of people, then a bounce flash is key to getting good lighting. So as always, if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments.